Hello, everyone. Can we put on our cameras for a bit, please? Let me see faces. Let me try and put faces to the names. Thank you very much for Yaja. I hope you're enjoying Abuja. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me quickly go through the names. Faye, it's good to see you. Pamela, Tomi, Opeyemi, our coachy, Esther, Tobiloba, Funke, Bukola, Chineme, James, Yemisi, Ibukonlua, Israel, Mary, Eugene, Olubumi, Olaide, Onoyimi, and Mohammed. We have two other people connecting. I'm just going to allow a few more people in. Can you let people know in your WhatsApp group that we've started? We're going to be going live in 2 more minutes. So it's good to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mayo Olusoji. I'll be your anchor for tonight. And tonight we're going to be dissecting an amazing movie, Your Life, Your Money, Your Life. I hope we've taken some time to see the lovely movie before we get in. And I can see one of the panelists is here. I'm going to look again to see if the other panelist is here as well. Our coach is on hand as well. We're just going to wait a few more minutes to see. So can you let me know where exactly in the world are you logging in from? Norway, beautiful. That's good. So Eugene, where are you? Mary, Bukolua, James, Tobiloba, Funke, Aderimola, Ayokomi, Mayowa. My namesake is the Mayowa lady. It's good to see you. Messi, where in the world are you all logging in from? Let us have a flare of the different countries we have here. Nigeria, Ewekoro. There is a. I think I remember back then. There is a cement pot in Ewekoro. I don't know if it's Wapco or I don't know which of the company. Because I remember then when I was growing up, my father would say it's going to Ewekoro. Ewekoro. How is Ewekoro? Eugene. Also, let me allow a few more people in. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be starting in 1 minute. We're going to be prompt. Sierra Leone, Freetown. Wow, Paris. See Paris and die. I hope. Yeah, Lafarge cement plant. That's correct, Eugene. Yes, Songotedo. I believe Songotedo is actually somewhere, Lagos State, if I'm correct. Sierra Leone, Freetown. Abuja. Wow, we've got 2 people in Abuja as well. Let's just bear with me a few more minutes. Ibadan, that is it. So that is where, well, it's not where I'm from, but it's where I grew up. So when I see Ibadan, I totally connect completely. Just Nigeria, Songotedo as well. Messi, nice to see you. Lagos, Ikeja, Kano, James, that's amazing. How is Kano? Mayowa, where exactly are you in the world? Mayowa Lade, I'm interested. You're my namesake. Probably the second time I'm running someone on here who we share the same name. Owerri, Igbo State. Amazing. I did my call in somewhere around them. No, actually it's in Akwa Ibom, not Owerri. Owerri, how is it over there? We're just gonna wait one more minute actually. Mayowa, Lagos. How is Lagos? So Mayowa. Ibukun from Ibadan. How is Ibadan? For me from Lagos. Good to see you all here. It's gonna be an amazing night. Can you let me know by typing 2 in the chat box? Taraba, Nasei. How's Taraba? Oh, our coach is here. That is telling me I've got to round up with the pleasantries. But before I bring our coach on, can you let me know? I hope we've all seen the movie. So if you've taken some time to see the movie, can you let me know by typing 2 in the chat box, please? Let me know you've seen the movies. There is so many points. I never knew there were so many points I could take from that movie watching it again. It was amazing. Our own Opeyemi, the story I'm going to tell you later about mistaking someone else as you. It's good to see you here now. Oluwapalumi has seen the movie. Anybody else? If you've seen the movie, can you type 2 in the chat box? Today, we are going to be dissecting Your Life, Your Money. What an amazing film that is. I'm just joining. I didn't see the movie. Oh, I like your honesty, man. It's okay. I'm sure you'll be able to pick a few knowledge from here as well. Nuhu from Abuja, nice to see you here as well. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start quickly. My own FA, it's good to see you here, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to spotlight my boss, my guy, the top coach, Shalade Shaki. Ma'am, the floor is yours. We've got a full community here tonight. We've got Smart Investment Club. We've got the Inner Circle. We've got the Smart Starter. So it is the whole community. So the numbers should be bumping up very, very soon. Ma'am, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I am excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be here as well. Hello. I see the intros and I'm very, very excited, like Paris, like Netherlands, like just totally amazing countries. Welcome to everybody tonight. We're excited to have you. This is our community-wide webinar, meaning that we have in our midst tonight members of the prestigious Stewards Inner Circle. We have members of the Smart Investment Club. We have members of my mastermind, those that I coach personally. We've got people from the Smart Stewards Junior Club and much more. Let me mention that we are streaming this on Facebook Live. So if you've got friends, just send them a message by the side and tell them we are having a Movienar tonight. I am excited, and I'm not going to be doing this alone. I'm actually going to be serving as a moderator. We have 4 people that will be co-hosting this session with us. And honestly, I cannot wait to bring them on board and spotlight their beautiful faces. Yesterday, I sent out an email in which I shared the documentary that we'll be reviewing tonight. I hope that you got a moment to sort of, watch it. I have watched it like twice. It may seem like, the very basic things, the fundamentals of personal financial literacy. But to be honest, times like this require that we all go back to the drawing board and learn the basics all over again. And that was why, we thought we could review that movie or that documentary and just remind ourselves of, personal financial literacy and all the things that we need to know. So welcome, everyone. I am excited to be here. And I can't wait for us to, dig in and then deep dive into what we have tonight. If you are here for the first time, yes, we welcome you in the name of the Lord. As we sing in church, you're welcome. Please let us know if this is your first time. Drop a comment in the chat section. Let us know where you're watching from. All right, I will be bringing in our totally amazing panelists tonight. For one, I know that one of them is from my mastermind, Shola Adeshakin's mastermind. We call it Sam, right? Totally amazing woman. She's going to be one of our panelists tonight. We have somebody from the Smart Starters community. Now, Smart Starters are those within ages 16, 17 up until 25. And then we have our own Coach Mo, right? There's nobody in Smart Stewards who doesn't know Mo, right? Coach Mo, as we usually and popularly call him, is Mayowa Olusoji. He's our academy manager and is the one in charge of all of these webinars, courses that we do and all of those things. We are so blessed to have amazing people, just serving with us as Smart Stewards and people who are very enthusiastic about the personal financial literacy that we teach. People who are, excited to see people win with their finances, people who spend all of their time, energy, just propagating this gospel with us. So I want you to just, spare a minute in the comments and just say thank you to all our amazing coaches. I don't know how many of them are here. Coaches and our team members, fantastic team members at the Smart Investment Club, at the Smart Stewards Inner Circle, at the Smart Stewards Junior Club, all of them. I really, really appreciate and celebrate you. I see those who are joining us for the first time. Bukola A, as we usually say, welcome. Yeah, no, welcome. I see Mohammed as well. Welcome. Please send out a word to your friends. Let them join us tonight. Right now, let me spotlight our totally amazing co-panelist. Esther from Paris, I see you. I love it. It's been a while. I'm seeing so many beautiful people, my people tonight. It's such a joy. Thank you. Mary Aderimola, our VP, the VP at our Smart Stewards Cooperative Society, Pamela, just totally amazing people. I love you all, and I'm sending you the love of God from here. Right. It's been an interesting season this year, but you know what? We move higher, we get better every day, we make more money, and we just, in spite of everything happening, we get better and better. So let me spotlight my people. I see Oluwapelumi smiling and smiling, looking very sharp. So I will, first of all, spotlight him. When I spotlight everybody, I will then, 1 minute. Let me remove that first, and then I will sort of make the intros, right? So let me spotlight myself first, right? Can you see my beautiful face?
Absolutely.
I will spotlight Coach Emo. At spotlight, can you see Coach Emo on the screen looking UK-ish handsome? I will spotlight Oluwapelumi, who is a smart starter. Can you see Oluwapelumi? Tonight is going to be amazing. Those guys have some incredible level of energy. And then I will be spotlighting the 4th panelist for today. I can't see her. Feya Jai, let's have your video on. I cannot spotlight you until your video is on. Yes, I see her. Woo! 4 amazing people tonight. Right, I will also make you guys co-hosts so that you can mute and unmute yourself at any point in time. Right. I love to talk about personal finance, and I love to talk about finance generally with people who are intelligent, people who are brilliant, and well, maybe not all the time people who have had it, all together, but I mean, as long as you bring the energy to the room, as long as you show that you're on a journey to financial freedom, I love to talk with you. So I'm excited about tonight, and we're going to deep dive right into the conversation. Oluwapelumi Olanihun, like I said, is one of our starters, smart starters. How do you call them now? Those who are like heavyweights, right?
Heavyweights.
They are the ones driving the community, making things happen, and just doing amazing things. Feya Ajayi is an amazing lady that I love. The first time we met, it was at a finance course. So yeah, Faye, can you remember we went to learn how to trade Forex many years ago? Forex trading, gang, Forex traders. Maybe by now, with all of those things that they taught us, we should have been making billions. But don't be so. Right. We will talk about some of these things as we go on in this conversation, like the things that they tell you to do. If you do this, all of those things that we hear. It's a marathon. You keep rinsing and repeating. You keep, just building the muscles and just doing all of those things. So guys, I'm going to give you just 1 minute to tell us about yourself, what you do, and then we will start a conversation about the documentary. Let's go with Oluwapelumi first.
Okay, good evening. It's evening here. Good evening, Mom. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Coach Emo. I'm really, really excited to be here. Really, I am. You said I've been smiling. That's because I can't hold back the excitement. So my name is Olaniwun Oluwapelumi Olatunde. Yeah, and I'm currently serving here in Jos, Nigeria, the compulsory 1-year National Youth Service. Yeah. So basically, that's me. Thank you, Mom.
Awesome. Compassion.
Wow.
Comrade, where are your comrades? Oh, we are not seeing them.
Where's the energy?
The energy is coming. Let's go to Faye, please.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, everybody. My name is Feya Ajayi. I am a developmental and humanitarian professional. So basically work in the NGO field, and I'm happy to be here this evening. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Power woman, powerhouse.
Heavyweights.
Right. Coach Emo, tell us about yourself in just 1 minute.
Hi, everyone. My name is Naiwo Lusaji. I'm a teacher by calling. I am a project consultant. I am an instructor, knowledge simplifier by hobby, and I am one of the coaches of Smart Stewards by duty. So it's good to be here. It's good to serve, and it's going to be an amazing night. And I'm one of Coach Shola's little brothers. So yeah, this is family for me.
You're kidding. Thank you. Thank you. I see some of our other coaches in the comments. I will bring some of you into this conversation. You know how we do it, as the spirit lead and as time goes on. So guys, let's dive into the essence of today's conversation. Your life, your money. I think that's a good place to start. How would you say your life, your money? Well, what role would money play? Why would you say your life, your money? Why not your salvation? Like those things are important. But why your life, your money? Like, is money really, really important? Is money really an important part of our lives? Is money, all the hype about money, all the things that we say about money, is it really what it is? Money really what it is, what people think it is? And I will start with Faye.
Thank you, Coach. Essentially, money is a very important element of our lives, in my opinion. However, the perception of money is what helps you as a compass to guide how you will get this money and what you will do with this money and how it will impact you or anybody around you. So yes, money is important, but there are some basic principles that you have to adhere to if money is going to work for you or work against you. And that's my view in that regard.
Palumi, what do you think? I know you're serving, you're just starting out, life is just about to start for you. But from your point of view, what do you think money is? And yes, people in the audience, we would love to read your own views and all of that. But your life, your money, is money really, really important? Why do we need to embrace financial literacy? Well, what is it about this money thing? Palumi, please go for it. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay.
Sorry, I muted you. Right.
Oh, it's all right. I think I've muted myself now.
We can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ma. So from where the other speaker stopped, she was saying how that we need to how we can money working for us or working against us. And then another thing I would say as regards money being essentially part of our life is she also mentioned that it's a way of we interacting with others, which is true. Okay, which is very, very true. And then from my perspective, it is how that everybody tends to judge you, or they just tend to, in a way, just
You're muted, Palumi.
You're muted again.
And then yes, so I would say that money is essentially a part of our life because we use it to relate with the world, to get the things we want and also the things we need.
Right, thank you. Before I go to Coach Emo, I'm reading some revelations here. Somebody says that money is the only competition God has stated in the Bible. That one is deep. You cannot serve God and mammon. O'Shea, Pastor James, well done, sir. Ufedo says money is power. It's a means to an end. Money defines your relationships, your mindset, lifestyle. Now, Coach Emo, what do you think? What's your perspective about money?
Thanks, Coach Essay. There are so many perspectives and dimensions we can view money, but I'll keep it simple today and say money is very important. But money is not the most important thing. You cannot live off money, but you can be, how do I put it? Let me pick my words correctly. You can be unfulfilledly successfully in terms of finance. That means you can have so much money, but not be fulfilled. Fulfillment and money are two different things. I have to keep defaulting to the Bible because that's my favorite book. There's something the Bible says. It says, money answereth all things. So if it is a thing, the answer is money. Now, if it is not a thing, that tells you definitely the answer is not money. Emotion is not a thing. So that means money does not resolve emotion. So whatever emotion you have, think it's been influenced by money. No, money just magnifies. Money is a magnifier. Whatever you are before money, you become loads of it. So there's nothing like rich people are this, rich people are that. No. If you're miserable, you have money, you're going to be a rich miserable. If you're stingy, you're going to be rich and stingy. If you're grumpy, you'll be rich and grumpy. If you're very happy and playful, you'll be rich and playful. If you're a tomboy, you'll be a rich tomboy. So money is a magnifier of whatever you are, but you cannot go outside the confines of money to do anything on this earth. Now, how you generate is a different conversation. We're not talking about generation, how we generate money. We're trying to tell us what money is. And because look around us, what we're doing right now cannot be possible without money. Number one, electricity. Number two, computer. Number three, internet. All these things are possible because what we've exchanged money for these services and we're able to have them. So to me, ma'am, money is everything, but not everything is money.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the different perspectives that we have brought. Before we go into the Movienar and the movie itself, we will play some of the key parts of it. I was having a conversation yesterday, and the title of the meeting was Making More Money in Less Time. And as I prepared for that IG Live, it just occurred to me that sometimes we get our priorities wrong. That topic hit me, you know, in a different way entirely. It says, making more money with less time. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow. Let's even look at money versus time. Money versus time. First of all, money is, in my opinion, you know, we have different definitions. Money, when I think about money, and, you know, in case I start to get agitated, I tell myself, number one, money is inanimate. I am animate. Money doesn't have life. Money doesn't breathe. I breathe. Money cannot think. I am the one that thinks for my money, except when I allow my money to lead me. You know, Francis Bacon says money is such an excellent servant, but a bad leader. So money could be inanimate, but if you are animate, does not control your money, then you are literally passing the power of dominion, right, to your money to rule you. So I think about it, I'm like, money is inanimate, then I cannot be frustrated. I cannot be agitated. So we were looking at it yesterday, and I said, see, we value money more than necessary. Take that with a pinch of salt. We value money more than some other important things. For example, time. And I started to discuss, you know, the differences between money and time. You can create more money, but you cannot create more time, literally. Now, you can readjust your 24 hours, but you cannot create a single second after 24 hours, you see. When you waste money, you can recoup it. When you waste time, it is gone forever, right? So when that, you know, IG title said, making more money in less time, like really, I think what we need to focus on is how we can leverage time to make more money, how we can, you know, maximize the use of our time, see the importance of time with money. And I cited a few examples. Some of us, we think that, oh, when I put in more hours doing some other things because of the extra amount of money they will give me, I will be able to make more money. Agreed, you will make more money, but you see, you probably could have used that time for some other things. For example, we know how hectic Lagos could be. Monday to Friday, 8 to, some of us leave the house at our houses at about 5 a.m. You get to work, and then you're tired. You get to work like 4 a.m., like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. You come back at 10 p.m. You do all of that. Then Saturday is laundry day. You are saying, how can I pay one laundry person to come and be doing laundry for me? I will do my laundry. I will do my food, cooking. I will do everything. Then the whole of Saturday, you are exhausted. By Sunday, you are grumpy, you are complaining, you are tired because work starts on Monday. Now, you have spent the whole of your Saturday doing all of those things because you feel that by saving the 3,000 naira or 4,000 naira that you will give your laundry person, you have saved the whole world. And then you have spent about 12 hours doing all of those things and you feel fulfilled. Brilliant. Bravo. Well done. But those are some of the areas in which we value money over time. So for me, I think just like sunlight, just like rain, just like the blessings of nature, money is one of those things. But particularly the fact that I am wiser, I am bolder, I am braver, I am more intelligent than money. That's my own introductory explanation about money for this meeting. So going into the webinar, a few points jumped at me. I wrote out a few points, and I will show them. I believe our panelists have watched the documentary. Yes, Ibukunluwa says leveraging time to make more money. Absolutely right. So let me go to Oluwapelumi. One of the things that I saw from that webinar, from that movie, was something that was a phrase. Somebody said, "Sweat for small things." Did you hear that?
It's number one on my list here as well.
Sweat for small things. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that, hey, we could look at it from two different points of view. What I just said now about you wanting to wash your laundry and doing all of those things could be you are sweating for small things from the wrong perspective or from a negative perspective. But I know we could also look at sweating for small things from a positive point of view. Oluwapelumi, what do you think? With your personal finances, sweating for the small things, what comes to mind?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. So sweating for the small things, actually, it's, from my perspective, it is how that you have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional, okay, and then you have to know what you want and how to get it. Now you have to put all of yourself into it. Now you have to be focused. Okay, and then if it takes that you do the extra, because now for the small things together, it then becomes the big thing. Basically, that is what I think.
All right, thank you. Faye, let's hear from you. Sweating for the small things from any point of view.
So for me, sweating for the small things, sweating on the small things, the first thing that clicks is it's important for you to sweat on monitoring your finances in terms of your budgeting. What are you spending? How is it going out? Do I need to cut down stuff? And if you're not going to sweat it, intentionality comes with sweating. And so for me, the first thing is monitoring my costs, my budget, my expenses, and sweating it, disciplining myself. If it means let's not do this for this particular point in time to delay gratification to be able to meet a particular milestone, then it is what it is. Sweating it might also mean what's the most cost-effective way that I'm getting services. So because Mr. A says he's giving me 500 for this, Mr. B says I can get the same service for 300. I need to probably sweat it out and see, am I comparing oranges with oranges? So that's where the sweating on it comes for me in a positive light. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant. Usman Naseh, I'm sorry I can't pronounce your first name. I don't want to murder it. He says, yes, sweating for small things can positively be taken as doing everything possible to earn money, even if it is small. Don't underrate the power of compounding. I love it. Ufedo says, don't sweat on small things. Don't be penny wise and pounds foolish. So I'm glad that this sweating for, small things is the first thing that we are discussing. I could look at it from 2 points of view. Like I just said, you can give your laundry person 3,000 to do your laundry for the weekend or 4,000 because you can afford it. Affordability is key. In your case, you have done your budget, like Faye said. You know that some of these things are bad. 3,000 to you or 5,000 to you compared to what you can use that time to do in terms of thinking, creative work, and all of those things. Or maybe doing a course online or catching up with your studies. Now, if you look at it, it's a cost-benefit analysis in that instance. There are things that we know we can pay people for. Some of us may not be at that level. You have to really sweat it like every 1,000 naira matters. So I'm trying to play the angels and the devil's advocate here. Sweating for the small thing for me may also be like, I can't remember who just said it. You want to pay for something online and it's going for 5,000 naira. And you have 4,999 naira on your card. What would happen? Except somebody gives you that 1 naira, it will be transaction what? Declined. That shows you also the power of small things when it comes to money. I was listening to a video earlier on today, and the guy, a billionaire, was saying that he has never used his money to buy first class. I'm like, well, is it not one life? You only live once now. Or God, what are you saying? But he said, wait. People have bought first class tickets for me to come for events. And he gave an analysis. He said, for example, if first class, I can't remember, maybe it's $2,000 or so, yeah, $2,000. And economy is 500, right? So you do $2,000 a couple of times, that means 1,500 extra. In 10 places, when you could have flown economy, that 1,500 per trip could have done quite a lot for you. I'm like, boss, calm down now. Calm down now. You only live this life, live your life once. But again, it just shows you that this personal financial journey is, as it says, personal and relative. There are general principles, but interpretation and execution comes down to you. I tell people, I have even come to realize more than ever before that 1 naira, a credit is always a credit and is always better than a debit. A credit will always move you forward, move your bank account forward. For example, 1 naira, 1 cent, 1 pence is better than 5,000 naira debit or 10 pounds debit or, $10 debit anytime. So again, we could look at it from 2 points of view. Sweat the small things, don't sweat the small things. Application is largely yours. 3 of us have said 3 different things. The whole essence of everything we are saying is you sit down with your personal finance. What are small things to me that I can sweat? What are small things that I should not sweat? You say, they say we shouldn't sweat small things. Every day, Starbucks coffee. Every day, eating out, 3,000 naira. Every day, these are small things. The Ashabi is 2.5 and Kara, even though I know my tailor will collect 10,000, it's a small thing. it is relative. Ask yourself, is this moving me towards the direction of my financial goals? If not, judge for yourself. Oluwakalumi, did you raise your hand? Because I'm going to Emo with a different question entirely. Right, go ahead.
I just wanted to share something that is quite practical with me as regards this sweating on the small things. Having to use the ATM and then POS over here, around here, it's that's 100 naira, that's 100 naira on a 1,000 naira withdrawal. There was a time I drew out my bank statement and I'm like, this 100 naira here, this 100 naira here, this 100 naira here, and so now this is me sweating. If I have to withdraw, then at my place of work, there are several ATMs there you get. So I would just have to use the ATM instead of having to give somebody that 100 naira, that 100 naira again. And also, while you were talking, I just thought of that and I thought to share, really.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. Funke says, don't sweat the small stuff. Before we exert energy on something, we should ask ourselves if it solves the real issue. You may bond with family, upskill, or do other resourceful things while you empower someone else by delegating chores to them and paying them for it. I prefer it to giving handouts. Chineme says, the lady in the movie said, sweat the small things. I understood it as one must analyze one's use of money at all times. Need versus wants. Always thinking. She says, I felt stressed though when I heard that. Yeah, I remember that lady. I'm like, yeah, these needs versus wants. Thank you. Ipukolua says, I believe it's a matter of perspective. I'm learning to always live in the balance. The word that comes to mind is opportunity cost. It really depends. Olubumi says one should be intentional about one's personal finance. Thank you. So we are doing this together. We will play the video just a bit right after this question. Another thing that jumped at me as we were talking, and maybe because, it was that particular phrase has been in my awareness in the past few days, I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. First generation of money, and I'm coming for you, Coach Emo. First generation of money. Do you want me to provide more explanation, or do you want to take a go at the question? First generation of money.
You can provide a bit more so that I can actually go, I can take it from, because already when you've seen that already, my mind has gone straight to a place. I want to be sure for the context of what we're talking about.
Right, brilliant. So brilliant. The person was saying, and I'm going to paraphrase and just explain it, in a very simple way, that I want to be the first generation of money in my family. And this resonates with me in the sense that when I was talking on an IG live with Omoni Oboli yesterday, she said, the curse stops with me. Now, I want to be able to make so much money that my money makes so much money and my money makes so much money, and my children don't and should not have to go through some of the things that I have gone through in making money and building wealth. Now, so there were a lot of Black people that were interviewed in that documentary, and they were like first generation of money. Most of us on this call, I don't know, my dad passed last year. Yeah, so thank God for small assets here and there. But I would have expected that my dad would be like an Abraham, whereby I wouldn't have to even work all the days of my life again. But we are here. We don't hustle. We're working. We're embracing multiple sources of income. But the thing is that a lot of us don't realize it. We are still living just to, just let's make ends meet. We're not thinking of the next generation. We're not thinking of not passing some of these struggles on to our children. How can we change the narrative whereby things get better from here? Our businesses are going to be transgenerational. Do you understand? Does that help you a bit? Please go for it.
Kochi, when you talk about generational wealth, the first thing to talk about there is it's possible, because this is where the first mindset battle starts. A lot of us don't think it is possible. But if I take you down the data lane, if you look at the top 100 richest people in the world, about 67% of them are first generation wealth. What that means is nobody handed them anything down. If they can do it, I can, you can. And that is the first thing that is very important. You knowing it is possible. Most of us, there is this block in our head that we think it's not possible. So we shy away from thinking about it or planning towards it, because it's like, you've already lost the battle. Like, well, it's not possible. If I say $1 billion, we all say yeah by faith, yeah, but that little voice in our head, is it saying, yeah, it's possible? That is the first thing, the mindset about it. The second thing there is, are we generational in our approach to life? Look at the Vanderbilts, look at the Rockefellers. They were generational. They've been gone now for hundreds of years, and we're still hearing about them. They were generational in their approach to life. Anytime I hear you, I don't live once, I know you're not generational in your thinking. Anytime it's my money. Now, when you say that, you've already told me that you're short-sighted. The reason I'm saying that, there is, when you're generational in your approach, there is a way it affects the way you set up infrastructures and the way you actually approach money, because this is not your money. You're building a legacy. To build a legacy, it means you might not completely be the full beneficiary of that legacy. The man who, General Sanders, that we all know for KFC, I didn't think the man had this level of wealth when he died and what is left behind.
Is it, can you hear him, or is it my internet? You can't hear him, it's frozen. All right, right. I just pasted like a Google explanation or definition of first generation wealth or first generation rich. And it says that the term first generation wealth builder refers to someone who does not have any financial inheritance and builds wealth starting from $0 or even less in some cases. That's what it means. Maybe Faye is a second generation or third generation person. Let us know. Yes, Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Now, if our parents, well, God bless them for, maybe they left, yes, we would say they left us legacy, education legacy, good values. But we are talking about ego, money, right? Faye, are you second generation or third generation? Are you seeing the money? Like, the money is flowing.
we are here together for the first generation ride. But I think more importantly, beyond just passing down the wealth, there are a lot of things that come with passing down the wealth that will transcend beyond the first and the second generation. And these are the things that you see for some of these very prominent families in Nigeria, where once the patriarch of those families die, you then find out that the wealth just fizzles out. So I think beyond wanting to be the first generation wealth creator who then passes it down, you have to pass down. It's not all about, I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. We make that mistake of, when we take that on, some of the work ethics, some of the ethics of being responsible and accountable, we fail to pass and inculcate this down. And once those are not passed down and inculcated, give them all you want to give them in terms of money, it will fizzle out for the first generation, and that's all. So that's my perspective on that.
Wow, thank you. So I was reading about some of the luxury brands overseas and some of this, companies overseas. Some of them were founded 18 something, 19 something. And I'm like, wow. The next question I want us to talk about, and for those who are in the audience as well, I mean, you could help us weigh in on this. Is it a cultural thing? Is it an African thing? Why is it that, most times in Africa, especially, you don't have second generation wealth? You don't have third generation wealth. Is it cultural? Are there limiting factors? Emo, I see that you're back. I will spotlight you. Change your name, please. Stop impersonating. Why is it that we have to fight to become first generation wealth? And, we also have to fight to pass on this legacy and these values to our children. By the way, I know some people may be watching and say, you are talking about generation wealth. Let me even live and survive. Guys, this is why we are here, so that we can, encourage one another and sort of broaden our vision. Our vision has gone to go beyond, let me eat and survive and be happy. More than ever before, we must be resolute. Like Omali said yesterday, the curse ends here. Up until where we started, going forward, we've got to do better. Our children must look up to us and, be proud to talk about us at their schools, to their friends, and say, gosh, my mother, my father, not in a hustling manner, because that hustle thing, but like my parents have built something fantastic, right? So, Emo, why do you think that we have in the Western world more testimonials of, you see many luxury brands. You hear that this is an Italian brand that was founded in something, Armani, Givenchy, but some of those people, 17 something, 18 something, 19 something, I'm like, what's happening? What brand do we have in Africa that has been there? And let me tell you, I believe that beyond brands, beyond companies, it's about the individuals. Most of those brands, luxury brands, they still bear the names of the founders, right? But some of them are dead. Armani, all of them, but they still pass on. And people die to buy these things. If you don't have the Ferragamo bag, you have an LV bag, some of them are long gone. But the name has remained. The brand has remained. Why can't we replicate these things as Africans, not just at home, but in the diaspora? Emo, I'm coming to the comments, so keep them coming. I'm loving what I'm reading.
Thank you, Kochi. I would approach this from two different points. Not making excuses, not excusing anybody from this. But number one, there is the West intentionally orchestrated this. I'll say it anywhere.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I saw you raise your hand, so I thought, oh, yeah. There is an orchestration to keep Africa a dark continent. Take it or leave it. If you look back 100 years, when was slavery actually abolished? Slavery is not just the chain. Slavery is a mindset that was perpetuated in the minds of generation and was passed down from generation to generation. I was listening to Bishop Jakes, I think a couple of days ago, and he was saying that, do you know that a lot of people, in their family, in his great-grandmother's family, they ended up with two different surnames because they were split across two different families, and you had to bear the name of your master. So because your master is on the other side of the road, you could not bear Joe Bloggs, you have to be Bloggs. A system was orchestrated to keep Africa in the darkness. Fine, it is not an excuse, but looking back 200 years back, the Black race had no choice. There was a point where a black man or woman was seen as not as an equal human being. So from where we are fighting from, I would say we're not doing bad. We can do better. So there is a system. It's when you're aware that there is an orchestration, it is not for us to get angry or for us to now say, well, we don't care. No, it's just for us to know where we're coming from. And the second thing there is, it now requires us to now begin to reprogram. Have you ever done something whereby you reacted in a way and you think like, my dad used to do that and I didn't like that about him, and you've just done it? It's because this is something that has been in the family for like the last 3, 4, 5. If you go back 7 generations, ma'am, you will find out, there was some level of slavery in there. So that is the first thing I picked up when I was trying to understand what exactly is happening. There was a book I read, I forgot the title of the book, and the book was this slave master who was teaching the slave owners how to make sure you make people slave for the next 1,000 years. And I was reading the strategy. The strategy worked, man. Up to the point whereby you have the fathers, you take a father away from a place, you take them somewhere, you bring another man to stay in that house, and it's all to get people messed up. We're not over that yet, but thank God for Christ, thank God for renewing our minds. Number one. Number two, there is, we are not, we have this crab mentality. If you put crabs into a bucket, you don't need to cover the bucket. The crabs won't go anywhere. Why? They keep pulling each other down. They keep pulling each other down. There is unnecessary competition about us whereby we are programmed not to see beyond ourselves. It's a selfish wiring that we need to get out from. If you go to the West here, they will have a mall. You see McDonald's, you see KFC. Most of them sell burgers and chips, different things. When they're going to open a mall, they go and call each other and say, come guys, we're setting up something here. It's beneficial for you all to be here. In Africa, we fight against each other. There is internal competition within the family. If one child is doing better than the other one, the parent treats that as a point of neglect and things like that. There's so many internal mental battles we need to first deal with first. And then for us to stop being selfish. Man, we are too selfish. Most of us, we send children to school not because that's the right school for the child, but because we want to be able to sit down in the middle of, we want to sit down with our friends and say, my child went to the Bells, the best school in those days. No, you didn't do that for the benefit of the child. Your child comes home with a bad grade, you say, you are not my child, because everything is about us, self-centeredness. How can somebody who is self-centered think of the next generation? They say, don't bring a disgrace to this family. What does that mean? It means don't put my name to shame. What name? A lot of things that they are so subtle in their approach. 5, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer, you're not an engineer, you're not an architect, you're not a child. An unborn child like this, they'll say, this is a doctor. So there are so many things whereby we need to first address them. And then thank God for our generation. It's for us to be in the consciousness that we are naturally selfish.
Emo, wait.
Yeah.
You are generating. So this is streaming live on Facebook as well. I'm going to read a comment. IBK, if you can hear me, please join us live. Somebody says he disagrees with you. Let me quickly read that comment. Then I will come to the comment section here. Yeah. So somebody says, 1 minute. He says that I disagree with Emo. Not having work ethics and not being able to maintain generational wealth in Africa has nothing to do with the West. It's just poor decision-making on our part. The West can't be blamed for a Yoruba man who sold his inherited property in Lagos Island, a property that was well known and attached to his family name. What's your reaction to that?
Let me. I love it when people disagree because
1 minute, yeah. Because we have so many comments.
Okay.
There.
The reason I'm saying that there is now, who went to the shore of Lagos and was now telling people, go and bring your family and I will give you a mirror and powder in exchange for those people? Somebody planted a seed. Now the seed has manifested and generated. When you tell somebody to go and bring their family for a mirror, Already you've taught them betrayal. So that means that seed is already planted. When betrayal is planted, you see the fruits. I'm not making excuses at all. That's why I said, look, let us deal with part one. That was why I said part two means we are naturally ourselves selfish and self-centered. That was the part two I was going on. So I totally agree with him. The West is not to blame, absolutely. Why would they be to blame? Abacha, when they were looting money there, they knew the money was a loot, but 10 years later, we hear about the loot. Why don't you stop the loot before the money comes in? See, there are so many infrastructural systems whereby how can one nation make claim to another nation and call them colonies? See, we can dissect these things in different ways. So let's now go back down to that where we are in terms of personal finance. Number one is we need to be aware that we're selfish. We do things just for ourselves. Even our children, when we take them on holiday, it's just because, we want them to have a good time. We want to be able to tell our friends that, oh, I'm taking my family on a holiday and make, have that feel-good ego. We should get over that. Are we making decisions that, how many of us actually have a 100-year roadmap, a plan for 100 years in terms of what we're going to achieve? If you don't have a 100-year roadmap,
23 messages. And I'm going to read everything. We have not even pressed movie. Yes, Ibuku is here. Wow, brilliant. I am going to add you to this conversation. Ibuku is watching in from Philadelphia. Ibuku, if you don't mind,
hello,
I am adding you to this spotlight. Yes. You will tackle Emo in a bit, but let me hear what Faye has to say. I will go into the comments and I'm coming for you, Ibuku.
So, yeah, thank you. I was just going to say two things. First and foremost, I think it's important that we cannot continue to lay blame at the doorstep of the West. If China continued to lay blame at the doorstep of the West, they will not be where they are today. Africa and China were in the same state back then when we took IMF conditionality loans. China said no, looked inwards, closed up their economy, they grew, and when they finished growing, they opened up their economy. Today, they are better off for it. We cannot continue to sit in the quagmire of it's somebody else's fault. That's the first thing I'd like to say. The second thing that I'd like to say is that the question was really, why are we not able to pass down wealth? One of the most important things is we despise the work that we have used to train our children. You mentioned the Louis Vuitton, you mentioned the Ford, you mentioned how many centuries ago. They passed it down to that generation. Many of these kids worked in those workshops, worked in the Smith. If it was the one where they were making jewelries, making gold, they understood the entire value chain of their family's business.
What?
We don't do that. You were manufacturing in your small SME corner, but the moment you blow small, that child is going to have that. But you don't know anything where they happen for the value chain of your business back home. And then you expect him to come back and then you want to give it to him. They'll feel that even bring those children back home. Next thing, what are you giving them? You're giving them CEO, director. He doesn't know jack shit. Yes, he went to do an MBA, but how has that MBA transformed and given him context and conceptualization of what's the value chain of my father's business back home? What am I bringing back in terms of value to take this to the next level? You have many brands today in Nigeria. The question is, after the first founders, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to a Dangote down the line? What's going to happen to an Erisco down the line? What's going to happen to an Innocent down the line? And I think these are the more intricacies that we need to look into. It's beyond 50 million years ago, my grandfather took somebody and collected mirror, quite frankly. The world has advanced beyond that. I will rest my case there.
I have 40 messages. I am coming to read them, but I just also wanted to mention that some people are making efforts. I was in the US last month into this month for a summit. And guess who was one of the participants? One of the people that came as, delegates for the US consulate, of which I was one. Prince Ebano and his daughter. If you know Prince Ebano supermarkets in Lagos, you know they're quite popular. Now this guy, the girl didn't come to enjoy. The girl was the one taking notes, speaking to people. This girl was, I think she's about 23 or 24 because she told us her age. I will bring out the picture before we continue. I mean, before we finish, just to show that there are tiny pieces of there are people here and there who are making efforts, right? So let me read some comments and then I will, hey, Generation Wealth, this one. I have notes, and I'm going to have the panelists also share with us some of their takeaway from the movies. And we must play at least 3 minutes from the movie. But let me go, 45 messages. Olajimoke says, if we think of how easier it could have been for us if we met well, then we would realize why we should make things easier for our children and their children. It's biblical, right? Ibukun said, if I had a launch hard in life, pass down the wealth, Olubumi says, but train the receivers to know how to manage and multiply the money. It's a wisdom problem, right? Talking about how we don't have, continuity. Somebody says, for our kids not to go through what we went through, we need them to be versatile, resilient, and strategic with the wealth we bequeath them. I totally agree with Faye. In a bid to create wealth for the next generation, make sure you teach them the core values of life. Hard work, smart work, the right work. Guinness in Nigeria, B. Okay, I don't know. Who are the people behind Guinness now? Anyway, there are some life lessons the next generation have to go through by themselves. Allow them to think. Don't do everything for your child. Wamco, Maker, Picnic, and Nestle. I love it. Thank you. They have more access to credit. They're also aware of their family business. There's a plan in place to train them for continuation. I love it. Folashade Kolake, FKE says, that's why Smart Stewards is the place to be. Thank you. Caters to the whole family, children club, teens club. We need to get our children on board the financial journey so they also develop financial muscles. Pamela says it's all programming. Ibukun says, I agree with you, Pamela. You read my mind on the fact that they plan continuity from the foundation. Yes, Coach Emo, we need to reprogram. James says, how long does it take to reprogram ourselves, right? There may be an orchestration, but we are the biggest market sustaining that orchestration. Okay, let me see. I want to move on. Do we spend to feel good or do we solve a problem? It's okay to feel good. Question is, where's the balance? Not many second generations see the need to improve the family business. The Boli, roasted plantain or moi moi, woman's son despises his mother's business, though he can improve it. The same moi moi that took Ayodej to meet Michelle Obama in White House. Some first ladies never met her, though he can improve it and turn it to a brand with the education he got from the earnings. Why are we still blaming the whites? Anyway, I think I need to move on. We can't keep picking on the surface. Our problems run deep within enslaved minds. I concur. Okay. Last one for now. 52 messages. Okay. I agree with Coach Emo. In addition to that, with the recent, compared to the First and Second World War in Nigeria that took place, the Biafra War, we find that a lot of people had to start rebuilding well from the scratch. Westerners have gone a long way. They have gone past the First and Second War, and all of that. Okay, I will come back to this. I was reading about a pasta business that has been up for 80 years, family business. All right, thank you. Let me go to Ibuku now. Ibuku is a very, very, very dear person to me. He's an entrepreneur in the US. Let me do free advert for Ibuku. Where is that picture that we took? You must project it. And it does cargo. Ibuku is one of the most enterprising people I have met on earth. He's been in the US maybe for about 2 decades, but this African thing still runs deep in him and he's very passionate. I saw his comments on Facebook was why I said, oh yeah, come and join the live Zoom. Let us hear from you. I know you live in the US, but most times you have a very balanced approach to some of this. So let me allow you speak to what we have said about first generation wealth, and then we move the conversation ahead from there.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Yeah, good evening in Lagos. Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. We can.
Oh, okay, great. So for generational wealth, what I see with the problem in Nigeria, in Africa, let's focus on Nigeria. Is that Miss Faye that spoke before, the lady that spoke last? Is that her name? Yes, I agree with everything she said. Why we are not able to transfer wealth from generation to generation. I'm young, I'm just a couple of years under 40, right? I don't think there is an excuse to give why. I don't think my grandfather or my father should be blaming somebody for not leaving something for them. Our responsibility is to work on every foundation we meet. My father shared something with me. He said one of the regrets he had a very thriving furniture business back in the 80s, which he started because his uncles were carpenters. And while he was a student in the US, he worked for a furniture company. He saw the automated machines, the electric saws, and all of that. Bought them, shipped them to Nigeria. That was how he started. Now, of course, he had people like me at a much older age, and he said his regret was not having the opportunity to show his children the way his business was done. That is from the wood, from everything, But what he was able to teach me in particular, we had conversations. He taught me about hard work. He taught me about not forget the value of the Nigerian market. We had conversations. It's late now, 12 years ago, but I can still sit and things he says rings in my head. When I try to make decisions, I still try to recollect some of the things he says. And that usually gives me hope, whether I'm doing business in the US or whether I'm doing business in Nigeria. At this point, we have to hold ourselves responsible. The example of we can't just run a business in Nigeria and send our children to Harvard, UK, wherever, but they don't know where you get your raw materials from. They don't know where you buy your nails from. They don't know where you where you import your things from. And then they come back, they become CEO. How are they going to run the company? If the company runs into hard times, how do they re-strategize when they don't know anything about it? And before they even went to the Harvard or whatever, they don't even know your office. All they did was spend the money. So the world cannot continue. And there are notable names we can mention right now that we know they are suffering. I'm sorry. They are the Abiola family. I'm sorry to mention their name, but where is the wealth? What happened? Eleganza is still alive. I'm praying and hoping it will continue after the man goes. So many names like that. Whereas here in the US, around the corner from my office, the pizza shops are known for that. The pizza shop has been running since 1945. World War has been over for over 50 years. We cannot be blaming anything right now. The fault is ours. We've been wanting to japa since a long time ago. We've been going, for as long as I left Nigeria at 18 years ago, our orientation is to make the money in Nigeria, go abroad and spend it. We ship the money abroad. We ship the children abroad. We ship the loot abroad. You understand? If we don't realize that mistake now, we will never be able to correct it. And unfortunately, I doubt if we will ever be able to correct it. Because unfortunately, the country is in shambles, and everybody's first thing is, let's jackpot. Let's take the family house. Let's sell it. Let's take the business. Let's sell it. Let's do this. Let's sell it. And then move out of the country. How do we now want to build the new generation? And most importantly, the second generation also was not born to really spend that wealth. The second generation was born to add to that wealth. If you want to build the generational wealth, it will really come from the third generation. Because you're the second generation, you have to do your own work. You have to your work may be easier than the first one, But your job is to add to the first one so that it continues. When you have your own children, you train them the same way, add to it, you know. And I'll keep preaching this. Hey, the country is the way it is, but whatever little thing that you have, that your father or grandfather left for you, whether it's a land or whether it's a house, if you cherish your name, if you cherish your identity, you know, do whatever it is you can to preserve it and multiply it. Don't look at the exchange rate right now. Don't pay attention to it. Whatever you have there, preserve it. History will be kind to you later. History will be kind to your offsprings later. And that's how we keep it in the record. Those we are hearing their names today, they sacrificed. If we don't sacrifice, we cannot get to that point. Don't let me take the whole of the time. And that, sorry, just to add this.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to add, me and Mr. Shegun, my business partner, that is everything we always talk about, that we want to create a sustainable business that our children can run when we are old or after we are gone. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, brilliant. Thank you, Ibuku. If you still have some minutes, you can just hang around and remain, you know, on the spotlight. Now, you have shattered a number of tables here because one of the most used words, you know, in Nigeria, sorry, my ring light went off. These days, if you, take like a survey, Japa is one, Shapa is one. In fact, I spoke to someone yesterday saying Shapa. I'm like, what is Shapa? What's that? They explained it didn't stick because I'm like, something adversely, I can't remember. I don't even want to remember, right? Everybody wants to leave. But I just wanted to quickly mention my own experience and ask, sometimes could it be that the children do not necessarily have an interest? For example, my father used to be the sole distributor of Nigerian breweries, of Guinness, of Consolidated, you know, the producers of 3-3 and all of those things in Shagamu. Up until about 10 years ago, enter Shagamu, ask Obalaji Emoluko. You couldn't miss it because his shop was opposite the market, and you would see, you know, a long stack of bottles, different bottles, trailers. It was it was an activity-full compound. Everybody knew him. We all worked with him. At some point, I was the one taking money, collecting money, taking money to the bank. Each time I came back from school, I would work with him. It took us, maybe about 3 or 4 of us that showed interest, took us to Nigerian breweries, took us to Guinness, took us to Consolidated breweries. Whenever I was going to Lagos, we would go. Award nights, we would go. Whenever I was going to Ijebu-Ode, he was such an influential person in that business. But hey, life happened. Pilferage. They started to steal. We made efforts. We will count stock in the morning, stock at night. He took some loan from one, I don't want to mention the name of the bank. And what happened? You know, the way interest accumulated. The people working with him, in spite of all the controls, they will divert the trust and all of that. At the end of the day, the debts overtook whatever he had. But we were there. He showed us. What could we have done? Was there an issue of interest in the business? Or could it have been that we did not do as much? Anyway, my dad became a millionaire for the first time in his late 50s. And trust me, for about 20, 25 years, he lived life, like maximally. But the business, even before he died, long before he died, collapsed. In that case, he showed us the way, Faye. He did ship us abroad. We remained in my village called Shagamu. We will go to school, come back. We were whenever my dad's 505 evolution, is it evolution or revolution? I can't remember. We were the daughters and sons of Paul Kopi. We were very much interested and very much around, but the business failed. So I agree with you. Some people are not showing their children, but for those who have showed their children, could it be a system thing? Why did the company collapse? At the end of the day, the bank, they almost killed him. The bank took him to court, but they won because they did freeze the interest, and actually, let me tell you a secret. When he died last year, a month after, we got a text on his phone. Even though he had won the case, the bank appealed.
Did I freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, Coach, you freezed. Okay. I guess while we're waiting for Coach to come, she's back. Okay.
She's back.
I'm sorry. The bank appealed, and 1 month after he died, we got a text message still saying he had to come to court. What am I saying? Sometimes it is not as if people are not, if you know, these people are showing their children the way. But the thing is that, is the system helping? How could a bank have gone after a man for about 15 years? The court ruled in his favor. They were still saying the house, they will collect it, they will sell it. What are the business incentives the government is making available for small business owners? When I went to the US, I went to an ice cream shop in Massachusetts, Boston. 300 years. When I went to Boston 10 years ago, I went to that same shop. The shop has been in existence for 300 years. Tell me, Boku, are there small business owners incentives? Oh, sorry. What did I do? Remove spotlight. Yepa. I removed everybody. All right. So let me fix it. So what am I saying? I mean, I think it's a whole lot of so many things happening. I don't know why we are.
See, Coach, sorry. So the thing is,
right, go ahead.
It's a potpourri and a mixture of too many things at once. So first off, in terms of sometimes in spite of your best efforts, things still go wrong. But the thing is, out of 100 or 200 businesses, maybe not nearly 50% will go through the same kind of rigors that your dad experienced in business. So that's the first one. The second one is that in most developed climes, you have a lot of incentives for small business owners, which allows them to thrive even in difficult times. That's another pillar. A third pillar are the pillars of ease of doing business in any given country. Honestly, sincerely, Nigeria is one of the countries where doing business is extremely difficult. And that's because all of our pillars of ease of doing business indicators are not greatly good. The average businessman, business owner in Nigeria has to be his own power supply, has to be his own, like everything you have to do for yourself. And when you do all of these things for yourself, it adds on to your overhead cost. Even you want to move stuff from one point to another, the roads are not good. There's just not that infrastructure. There is bureaucracy, there's red tape, there's bottlenecks. So honestly, doing business for the average Nigerian in this country is extremely, extremely difficult. Now, when you add that to the way the average one-man business runs, he doesn't have good books, does not keep good records, so cannot access credit, cannot keep his stock properly. It's too many things going on together. So if you're not able to isolate those things one after the other and decide which ones can you leverage together to get ahead, you are most likely going to end up in a quagmire of neither here nor there. Hopefully we don't work too hard and be eating too small. I will end at that point.
Thank you. And that's why we are here tonight, to encourage one another, to talk to one another, that the goal has got to be, our goals they've got to go beyond, let's just make ends meet. There must be that intense determination. And again, I'm not against jackpotting wherever you are. I mean, there's a Bible passage that has been my like my anchor for years. I can't remember where it is. Somebody can just help me check Google. He says, you will feed on the treasures of nations, and you will enjoy double prosperity in your own land. Finito. Means that you are in the UK, you are enjoying double prosperity, but you are feeding on the treasures of nations all around the world. So I'm not against wherever you are, wherever you find yourself. The goal is maybe, obviously things have not been passed on to us. We are first generation wealth, but what can we do? Because again, you can only pass on what you have. You can't give what you don't have. If you do not build wealth, let's not even talk about passing on. And ladies and gentlemen, irrespective of where you are in the world, to build sustainable wealth. I like what Ibukun said about second generation self. You are still trying to, it is actually at the third generation where you can say that, yes, there's this wealth to enjoy. Because I tell people, when you talk about money, the money 1 million of 5 years ago is not the same of today. There are spiritual forces, physical forces, economic forces, devaluation forces, inflation forces, contending with even that money, that saving, that investment that you think you have. Do you see? I don't know why we are staying so long on this generation wealth thingy, but I think it is important. If you have not seen yourself rising above what is happening in Nigeria, if you keep complaining about Nigeria, blah, 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 what people have done, what people have not done, what government has. I read an article yesterday and I sent it out as part of my email. The federal government says that the insecurity is so bad that nationals are gravitating towards self-help. Who says that? Let's not even go there. But I'm saying, hey, the responsibility is ours to decide that, hey, the curse stops here. And not just stops here, even we ourselves, we will not be partakers. We are going to change the narratives. We are going to build wealth. We are going to enjoy the good things of life. Pass it on to our children, pass on values to them. Funke said something earlier on in comments. Your children do stuff, you can't correct them. Because you have house help, your children do not do stuff in the house. Your children, you go out, they throw tantrums. You're like, no, they don't shake. Don't worry, the child is still young. And you don't say the child will not grow up. The child is being formed. I said, where? I don't know, first generation of money. Does anybody want to say anything before we move on to maybe just one more point and then we'll call it a day tonight? Panelists? Yes, go for it. IBK, let me ask you to unmute. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, sorry, about the issues, with Nigeria being your own power supply and all of that, that is a very general problem that we hope the government will take care of. But besides that, I just want us to be self-aware that we have to take our own responsibilities. You cannot be starting a new business. I was visiting Lagos one time and I saw a new courier company open up because I come frequently and I'm like, okay, this is a new business. But I see several official cars that would have cost millions of naira. And I'm like, you're a courier business. What are you doing with Hyundai accents? What I should be saying is bikes, vans, delivery vans, and all of that. Who are those using those cars? Is it for show or is it to execute those businesses? And then business owners also need to learn not to spend you shouldn't be spending directly from the business money. You should put yourself on a salary like every other employees that you have and keep your books properly. So you really know how much money the business has. And I see that these kind of behaviors kill businesses in Nigeria very fast. Besides all the problems, let us see what we ourselves can manage. Stop living large on your business loan. You took a loan from the bank. Stop living on it. Stop buying off. Nobody needs an official car. Let everybody get to work on their bus or give them salaries or incentives. Let them go buy their cars. Even you yourself, I ran a business here for 3 years. I didn't even pay myself, you know? So until we also learn those type of financial disciplines, you know, we will kill our businesses faster than we build them. And let me quickly address your situation with your dad. You did everything right, you were there, but you know, over time, you may not, sometimes we just need technological innovation to tackle certain issues. You know, you may not have been able to get it then, but maybe over time you can even still get it now and say you want to go back to the business that your father was running. Yes, people can do it. People can revive it, you know. My mom once had a school that I was one of those who forced her to close it. I knew why, because she was doing it more on a charity basis as opposed to being a business. I opened the door of that school every morning. I swept that school every morning before I came to the US. You know, I got the school ready for the students. The school grew so fast, but she was more on the charity side than on the business side. So I still look forward to the day that I will say, I want to relive this dream. It's a profitable business, or we can as a for benefits, where the profits are being made to pay for, you know, other people who do not have, you know. So financial discipline, self-discipline, very important. We need to put that in until if we're not able to do that, we cannot blame other factors 100%. We also have to blame ourselves for our own actions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me quickly say two things. And I'm throwing it back at us. By the way, MO and IBK, you should connect. Both of you are in the same line of business. So you should connect UK-US connection. Yes. Okay. So some people are listening and they're saying that first generation business, person business. How about those who are currently employees who are working for others? How? And Faye, I want you to weigh in on that. You don't have a business. You are going to your office. You hold a job according to Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. As an employee, you hold a job. You don't have a business by the side. Is there any generational wealth to be passed on? What do you pass on? That's number one. Number two, Moranica, in the comment says, is it compulsory? Because this is the way it comes up. Is it compulsory that our children must be interested in the family business to make a long life business? Other people can take the businesses over and make a success of it now. Yeah. Now is mine.
Absolutely. So I will start with the second point that you made. It's not absolutely it's not written in stone, it's not cast in stone that your offspring or a family member has to take over the business. And that's where you have different kind of business structures in place that allows you to, get in that you go into partnerships or you go into equity and stuff. And that helps you to ensure that the business does not go extinct. Unfortunately, the African mindset never wants to share. And that's where I concur with Coach Emo on it. The average African man, it's my business. It has to stay with me. I cannot share it. I cannot give you equity. If it will die, let us all die and perish together.
True.
So that's one of our problems as the African man. But I think that we most likely have begun to scale that problem, especially with the Gen Z and the startup tech ecosystem. You now find out that you understand that your strength, my strength, we need to leverage it together to be able to get seed funding, series 1 funding, series 2 funding, and we have to move on from there. And it's not all about me or all about you. So I think gradually, even if it's just in the tech ecosystem, that mindset is beginning to shift, and hopefully it can move into other industries. And even as SMEs, just now you said, Coach Emo and Ibukun should find how to collaborate. I think there's a lot of awareness going on to say, look, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with like-minded people. I think that's beginning to catch fire. So I think maybe 5 years down the line, we probably are not talking about this kind of issues. Now back to the first question, which was like, well, I have a day job, 8 to 5. How am I going to do or give anybody anything? I recall I used to have a boss back then who used to tell us then that this your salary is not what is going to make you rich. You will come here every day and your salary will always continue to be what it is. When we decide to have mercy on you, we'll put small on top of it and we'll all be dancing, but it's never going to make you rich. And what did he used to say could make you rich that time is that your money has to work for you. Your money has to work for you. And it also goes back to the same Robert Kiyosaki principles of your money has to work for you. And unfortunately, the vast majority of us who work an 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job always believe that that salary is not enough to cater for my needs. How much more money is going to work for me? But you need to go back to the power of compounding interest. Your little savings, as long as you remain consistent with it, you put it in places where it can generate interest for you, depending on your risk levels, your risk appetite, your understanding of where you're putting your money into it. At the end of the day, it is a matter of time. It will compound and grow. So where people then say, oh, let me teach you how to make money faster in less time, I will sit back and say, well, there could be ways where you can, have time compressed for you, but in building wealth where money is working for you, time is an important factor. It has to be built over time. You're not going to sleep and wake up and become a millionaire if you are working a 9 to 5 like I work. Maybe the Coach Emos and the IBKs can make it because look, these are business guys. You can close one deal and boom, you don't blow. But if you're like me, 9 to 5, you better start putting those pennies away. Put them away in a place that compounds your interest. It is very important. That's what I would say in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant. I wish we could just deep dive a bit into the cash flow quadrant. Maybe we can say something about it before we go. But I want to address this question. I want Coach Emo and Oluwapelumi to weigh in on it. Another phrase that jumped at me from that video was priority leads to prosperity. Oral. Palumi, let's hear from you. Priority leads to prosperity.
Indeed, that was one of the highlights for me too, because it jumped at me.
You need to project your voice a bit. We can't hear you as loudly as we did earlier on.
All right, am I being loud and clear now?
Slightly. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm able to shout already. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Like I was saying, the phrase, the statement was one of the highlights for me too, because it says priority leads to prosperity, and then I jotted down, it says if you put your priorities right, then you would prosper. Okay, and then she went on to say separate needs from wants. Okay, and then I actually mentioned it, but we can't just overstress what you are spending your money on. You have to know it's a matter of value, weighing the values. Like, okay, really need this. Is it necessary? Because by the time you begin to spend on your wants, and then eventually you can't even gather them together to say, okay, this is what I've been able to achieve this way. But the things that are essential that you look at to say, okay, in this way I'm prospering. Basically another thing that come to mind is when we look at this, I'm trying to remember a phrase now. I think opportunities forgone. Yeah, something like that. That you have to let some things go so that you can indeed you know what your financial goals are, you know what
Okay, you know what? Oluwapelumi, could you mute yourself and then unmute? Let's see if it will be better. We can barely hear you. Okay, so try and unmute yourself. Say something now.
Okay.
There's an interference. Let me try. Maybe you should log out and then come in. Let's have Coach Emo talk and then you coming back, hoping it will be better by then.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Coach. It was one of the points I noted down, actually. I think the third one, priorities leads to prosperity. I think without definition of purpose, without you knowing what your purpose is, what do you want? Before you can prioritize, priorities is from a list of things in terms of priorities should guide you towards a direction. What exactly do you want from life? What kind of life do you want? If I ask anybody here that, okay, for the kind of life you want, what exactly do you need to make that happen? Can you tell me to the nth number in terms of the exact amount required to achieve your next 24 months goal? If there is no clarity in terms of purpose, then you cannot prioritize. Now let's bring that to personal finances. In terms of your personal finances, based on where you are and where you're looking to go, what are the priorities that will get you from A to B? I've got my long-term goal, in terms of strategy, my long-term goal 20, mid-term goal 10, short-term goal is 3. Now, from where I am right now to get to the next 3 years, what do I need? What would I like to achieve in 3 years? What will I get? When I get there, what will I celebrate? If I know the next 3 years I want to achieve blah, 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 blah. Now, how do I get there? I've got a plan. Based on this plan, what are the things? It's called critical plan, your critical path in project management. That means that road you must take, that if anything happens to that road, you're in trouble. Anything else is irrelevant. So what is the critical path from where you are to your next goal? So what are the priorities to get you there? One of the key problems with priority there is lack of discipline. I wanted to lose weight for so long now that I've let that goal go. In terms of, don't worry, that is not important. But I like to myself. It's something I would love to do. I would like to have 6 packs and let my wife look at me and say, you're not bad, But you know what? I've traded that because I've somehow convinced myself it's no longer important, Jerry. The other things in life, and that is what we do with every other thing. So that is no longer a priority now. So I can excuse myself for munching, getting to the fridge at 9 o'clock at night because it's not important, Jerry. I'm okay. I'll deal with it. Money is more important. Exactly. What are your priorities in terms of your social life, your mental life? Because see, we treat money as if money is just that one single thing. Money is your life. There is no aspect of your life that does not involve your money. So for you to be balanced, you have to be balanced in all. Why would rich people just commit suicide? That tells you the life is not balanced. So is you approaching life from the 4 key pillars. It's not the time to go into that today, but in terms of priority, what are you doing with a phone that costs £1,000 in your hand and you don't have a car? You are carrying iPhone 13 and you paid cash. It's not like they do in the West, whereby you've got a payment plan, you pay $40 or £50. I'm sorry, I'm not being harsh on people. I'm just being factual. See, these people, they've engineered in such a way whereby they're selling wants towards as if they need. What is a 16-year-old child doing with iPhone 13 and an iPad and new Apple MacBook Air? I'm sorry, this is the way I see things in life. Let's get priorities in life. If you have the excess, sometimes teach your children, the earlier conversation we had, the things that made us are the things we're not giving to the children anymore. Hard work made us. You do something like this, but now they'll say it is, you don't beat children. No. You just speak to them. Well, my book says, craziness in the out of the chat. I'm sorry if you're not Yoruba, you wouldn't know what that means. So in terms of that is get your priorities right in terms of your finances. How do you do that? What comes in? What goes out? I tell people, a lot of people, you don't have any business investing. Why? You've not even balanced your books. What is going out is more than what is coming in, so you've got no business investing. Before you get to investing, there are 3 levels. Number 1, you have to be even. Number 2, you have to have a little bit more. Number 3, you have your savings. Number 4, from the savings, emergency funds, then you now trickle. But that's the model I subscribe to. It's, you know, it doesn't have to be everybody. But the most important thing there is, if you don't have any clarity in terms of purpose, you will struggle with prioritizing your life. And it's the Pareto principle. 20% of what we do is actually what gives us 80% of what we achieve. But we spend 80% of our lives on the mundane things. We can't say no. Must you be in every WhatsApp group? Must you attend every event? Must you be popular in every gathering? Learn to say no. Because why? Your bandwidth is only limited. Your ability to focus, the world is messing with it every day. And focus is a superpower. If you don't know that, your ability to zone out, switch off things, remove the internet from your laptop, write whatever you want to write. Inspirations come that way. That's why you see the writers, they'll say they've gone somewhere into the woods. They've gone for 3 months, they come back, there's the best-selling book. Why? They know the power of focus. Why? They prioritize that. If you continue to see this life, it is engineered in such a way. There are billions of dollars of research that is bombarding you everywhere. And what is that trying to do? If I can influence your decision-making process in life, I will control your life. So your ability to make decisions is the most powerful tool you have. Guard it in terms of with all diligence. Thank you, Coach. Sorry, I was getting carried away.
Wow, brilliant. We've got just 15 minutes more. I know my community, we can be on for another 4 hours, but you know, we've got to respect our time. I don't want us to go beyond 2 minutes, beyond 10 p.m. I still have about 3 things that I would just want us to touch on. But Mo, you've got feedback. Get back on that, your weight loss goal. Somebody is saying this, and this is Coach OSA saying, get back. You need to watch our stories every day, our WhatsApp status. Even if you don't want to exercise, when you follow, when you check our stories, you will get the motivation. So she says, get back on it. Like you need to have her as your accountability partner.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you for that. Talking about focus, there's a book that I read earlier in the year. I haven't finished it because I just got like stuck on some particular things. Deep Work, The Power of Focus. 2 weeks ago, I just told myself, you know what? I'm going off social media. Like, I just, voila, to punch social media. So I went off and I felt light. I've done it in the past. 3 days, delete all the apps. But this one, I was bent on not coming back for 1 month. But I needed to do an IG live with Omoni yesterday, a celebrity, okay? But because I said I will come back on the 1st of August, and I'm like, okay, I will be on the webinar with her tomorrow, but she just wanted us to have like a teaser. So I agreed. But I'm like, what I went through in the last 2 weeks, it was my screen time dropped to about 2 hours in a day. I'm like, what? This is bliss. Sometimes we need to just, and then I was able to achieve a couple of things. I introspected, it was just bliss. I think it is something that will help us. Now, so for some people, they don't have issues with social media. Like, what's there to, I get there if I want to spend 5 minutes, I spend 5 minutes. For some of us, distraction, sanguine, as you are looking at something, even though it is the first, I don't go deep, but the first 3 posts, you now sit on here, okay, Twitter. And then I realized that my news feed was actually Twitter. When I went off this past 2 weeks, I didn't know what was happening until somebody said dollar is up. I said, what? But if I was on Twitter, so there are the advantages and the disadvantages. But I just wanted to say sometimes ours may not even be social media. Some people calls. I'm not dissing people overseas, but I hear you guys, some people, in the UK especially, 2 hours. They are cooking. Hey, got one time. Oh, they are finished cooking. They taught their children in bed. They are still on the phone. These days, phone calls exasperate me. I'd rather you send me the message. I will come back to it 3 days after. But to not be calling me to say, hey, oh my God, even my husband knows. So sometimes my phone is on silent. That's why I have a lot of missed calls. So I'm just like, I can't deal. So priority leads to prosperity. I totally agree. So I wanted to say, Pelumi, I will come back to you. There was a phrase, 2 things. We will talk about this one and then the last one, which is credit. And I would want both Mo and IBK to weigh in on that because credit is not exactly common here, but overseas, they literally like force it down your throat. Mo, how many people in Nigeria have given their children iPhone 17, iPad 24? How many people in Nigeria? There's no credit, you have to pay for it. But overseas, literally, you have to take it. Do you see that the environment also, influences or accentuates or accelerates some of these things? Another phrase that I wanted us to talk about, Palumi, I hope your audio is better now. It says, hang around those who know more than you. Talking about building wealth, talking about prosperity. Hang around those who know more than you. Quickly, let me read out. So I send out this As You Rise series every day. And today's, what I shared today, let me just read it out because sometimes I get constructively criticized too. And I've realized that over the years, I have become better at accepting criticisms. So I said that constructive criticisms and chastisements are usually not pleasing to the ears, but they are rewarding for the soul or rewarding to the soul. The people that will help you won't massage your ego. Their messages might be hard, but they are necessary for your growth. Train your muscles to receive life-changing advice, irrespective of how hard they may seem. Now, the phrase said, hang around those who know more than you. I know that a lot of us want to be local champion. How, from your own point of view, Oluwapelumi, how important is this in our quest for building wealth? Okay, unmute, please.
Okay, all right, ma'am.
Brilliant. Yeah,
okay.
brilliant.
All right, yeah, so having to hang around, we can't shy away from the fact that we are influenced by the people that are around us, okay? We are influenced by the things we see, by the people we listen to, whether consciously or even unconsciously, as it were. And then the way it works, actually, I think even in this documentary, it was saying that you still want to get, you still should get more. Okay, I think it was a celebrity that was mentioning that. Yeah, and then that would not be possible if you are staying around those that you are doing better than. Okay, it's just okay, so that when you look forward, you are seeing other persons that are doing better. Okay, you are challenged, you are wanting to push yourself to do more. And the way it actually is, again, is hanging around those that can help you. Okay, so that's when, because if you are the only one that is in front and then everybody is like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, you at the point you don't even know when you are not doing the right thing. There was this saying that I heard, I think from a preaching or so, that if you enter a place and then you hear people clapping and they are clapping, like there's this standing ovation, and then you look around and you can't find, you look around and then it is not kings that are clapping for you, then you are not there yet. It is just to say that you have to be able to put yourself on the edge, okay? Not basically competing with other persons now, but competing with your own self, breaking your own record, wanting to do better. And the only way you can do that is when you are around other persons that are doing better as well. And then thank God for the Smart Starters community. Right there in that place, you just see someone share something and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Really, I'm sure the heavy blow I received late last year, if I had been in this kind of a community, I wouldn't even adventure there. But around me as at that time, that was what was going on. That was what everybody was saying. Have you tried Rockstally? Have you tried Enas FX? Have you tried this one? Have you tried this? And then even when you don't want to succumb, it's just the pressure. Okay, it's just the pressure around. But now that I'm getting such positive pressure, as it were, listen to Coach Mo on the convos, and then he's saying this, Coach Ama is saying this, Coach Yemisi is saying this, and then you just look around it and you're like, I have a long way to go. So it just helps you to know that you can do better. Okay, it helps you to not just say it to yourself, but also create an atmosphere of the fact that there is actually more. There is a space for you to feel. I think I should just end it right there. So can I have that person?
Thank you so much, Palumi. Thank you. Brilliant. I love it. For those who are here who are between ages 16 to 24, 25, we have a community called the Smart Starters. Those guys energize me. I'm not sure they know I am on that group. I'm on it with my second line. Sometimes I just go through the conversations. I'm like, God, take me back. Take me back to my 20s, man. I love the energy. I love the interactions. I love the zeal. It's such a good place to be. So if you know anybody all around the world who is between 16 and 25, coaches, you can help share the link in the comments. Yes, I will go to the last question in a bit, but I just also wanted to mention for those who are with us, joining us for the first time, this is Smart Stewards. We got a number of departments, the Smart Stewards Junior Children. We've got the Smart Investment Club for everybody all around the world. We've got 850 members, thereabouts in about countries. We talk about investment, we invest, we talk about financial literacy. We have the Smart Stewards Inner Circle for women all around the world as well. I mentor them, myself and other coaches. Next week, Saturday, we're having a pajamas party. So much food. We are camping overnight together. Those are some of the things that we do.
I didn't get the memo.
Are you a woman? he or she, she, or how do you say? Those are some of the things. So if you are looking at communities to join where, you can continue to be a part of conversations like this, we will drop the comments. The first I will drop is the Smart Investment Club, the Smart Stewards Inner Circle. We will drop the link as well. I just wanted to, let us know about some of the things that we do. Alternatively, go to smartstewards.com and read about all that we do. I see so many comments. I wish I could read all of them. Our coaches are in the comments, cheering us up. Coach OSA Olajumoke, Coach AMA, marketing, head of marketing, Tommy Fire, you call her TF. I see DTF, Ibinike. So good to have you here cheering us up. And Funke, it is so good to have you join our meeting. We have missed you, right? I read something that you said about consolatory retrogression. Oh, deep gone. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Now, final question. They talked a lot about credit in that movie. IBK, I'm not sure, but you can watch it later, Your Life, Your Money. I will share the link with you. I think, Let me see if I can just share the screen, the video in 1 second. Just 1 minute, please. Oh my God, where's it? Okay, this is it. I will just share just for you to have an idea of what the video is all about. So this is it. Share. I don't know. Can you hear the voice? Can you hear the audio?
No.
Okay. Okay, but this is it. Your Life, Your Money. I think there's usually a way to play this YouTube stuff, but because I knew we wouldn't be able to play it, was why.
I think you can just drop the link in the. You can pick the link and drop it. Yeah, so people can just access it.
Yes. Okay, so they also talked a lot about credit. Credit. I mean, credit is not something that is common, even though banks in Nigeria are also trying to, push credit down people's throat these days, but it would not be as interesting and as sort of robust. So whilst I went to the US, I was trying to sort out one account. They offered me a credit card right there and there, like even as a foreigner. Those are some of the things that we see. For those who are on this call who live overseas, and even for some people who are getting ready to jackpot, because this jackpot thing, you just hear, multi-travel, and Nigerians, they won't tell you until they get to the other. So I just arrived with my family. Coach, I'm sorry I did not tell you, but I was really, really busy. You have been planning it. It's okay. I wish you the blessings of God. Say, so I have gone. Some people are here, they are like quarter to jackpot. Right. Now, when we talk about credit, which, things, Western world, US, not America, in the UK and just around the world, what do you have to say? I see for you have your hand raised up. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something, but for me, it's more in line of insurance. One big takeaway for me from this.
No, I will have you say that. Let's deal with this credit issue, then we will come back. Oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. Guys, can you give us 10 more minutes? Just 10 more minutes and we'll wrap this up. So Mo and IBK, in 2 minutes, tell us about what you feel about. You live in the Western world, you live in the UK, Mo. IBK, you live in the US. What do you think about credit? I don't know who should go first because I am almost certain that your views are divergent.
I will keep it brief.
Okay, go ahead.
So, on the issue of credit, credit is great. It helps us do so many things. Get education, your home, whatever. However, on the side of business, I've not really been a beneficiary of credit. Because the society here is still very, they still get very picky with people like us. I started my business when I was very young, 24, 25. I and my business partner approached different banks. Nobody would loan us money. So how did we start? So I just completed my car payment then. I was paying $230 a month for my car. And once I made the last payments, I started to pay the same $230 per month to fund the business. And my partner did the same. And that was how we got the business started. However, years later, when the accounts really began to grow, all the banks started knocking our doors. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. How can we help? How can we step in? But at that point, because it's a service business, we didn't know what we needed money for at that time. So we didn't need the money. Getting credit for businesses here could still be very challenging, but it's doable. But on a personal side, it can really, your personal credit rating, will always be almost like your, is it collateral, like your referee for you getting any other kind of loan that you want to do for business or for what have you. Although during the pandemic, we did get some aid, given to us, help maintain the business because I was out of business for 3 months. I didn't know what was going to happen. That really came in handy, helped us pay the bills, put us back on a solid footing, even though we are struggling right now because our business works with Nigeria. So I'm feeling the heat, right here too, but credit is, I wish and I hope at some point Nigeria will get to the level where people will have access to credit, if not credit cards, but at least there are some personal loans you can take, as well, with much lower interest rates to fund whatever you need to fund. I don't know how it works in the UK, but maintaining a good credit history here, usually 650 and above or 700 and above, get you access to money. Your score will determine the rates you get. But I think we've been able to get loans actually to buy a truck or something like that before But to fund the business itself, I've not been a beneficiary of that. But education, homes, whatever, it's always a good, it's a good tool. It's a good support. And I hope Nigeria gets to that point. We have a group here called Lending Club. I don't know if you've heard of them before. You know, Lending Club is a place where you can also go to ask for money. And you have different angel investors who contribute money for you. I did it once, I paid them off, but I've been tempted not to go back because once you have a good rating with them, they actually flood you with money. And I didn't want to misuse anything. But for those who live in the US, Lending Club is another place you can also go to borrow money. And when you're on time, they will always come back to you to lend you more money. But be careful so you don't spend the money in a manner that is not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, brilliant. I'm incredibly proud of you because I know you're blessed, and you have also applied a whole lot of wisdom. You know what you do, the frugality, being a people person, seeking advice, and all of those things. So I commend you, and of course, thank you for joining us. Don't go yet.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're not going to diverge from that. It works the same way. In UK, we use credit score, and two main companies, Equifax or I can't remember the other one, two of them to do that. But one thing I would say there is, because I'll focus this on personal finance. Personal finance is 80% behavioral and 20% knowledge. Like this guy says, one of the people I follow, I can't even, Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Well, I've got a note here when I was watching and I wrote it down. Credit is fire. The same fire that you will use to cook and have a lovely meal.
Can also burn you.
When NEFPA takes light, the same fire you will light a candle. Leave that fire by the ledge that is wooden and go to bed. That fire will burn that whole house down. What am I trying to say? I wrote it down here. Before you approach using credits, ensure you have the skills required to control and manage that fire. It can quickly and easily get out of hands. And because these days now, we don't pay cash anymore. Everything is done. They've gone so to the point whereby it's even contactless. And it's been proven that you don't feel that pain of spending when it is not cash as much as you would with cash. So it's easy for you to hold your phone like this and it's credit card, and you're going, okay, I want to buy McDonald's, and they will say, okay, extra. Maybe it's 150, my extra, and this one to pound. Before you know it, it's your ability to control that credit is what I would advise. See, we all have different muscles. Mr. Ibukun is built his muscle. From what he's saying, he's not telling you how disciplined. He said one word. He said, I refuse to go back. That tells you that is discipline. It's not because he doesn't have wants. But at that point in time, it wasn't a need. And it takes discipline for you to be able to know the difference between wants and need, and when it comes to credit, because when credit gets out of hands, it will affect every other area of your life. So to me, if you know emotionally and behaviorally, you are not matured enough to handle credit. In the UK, and I'm speaking from the UK here, you can do almost anything unless when you want to get your mortgage without you having all this credit thing. There are so many lenders these days that even if you don't have any credit, you approach them, all they want to see there is, number one, you're on the voters roll. Number two, they want to see your 6 months bank statements. You're earning quite well. So they like you more because you are less of the risk, because for you to have maintained that for the long period of time you have. And those are the small lenders, you have to look for them. When it comes to education, I always tell people this thing that before you default to the end, I'll take student loan, have you exhausted all the possible options of grants available? How many organizations have you written a letter to? Let's say a quick example. it's 10,000 a year for your college. Write to 1,000 organizations requesting for £100 of grant. 50% will respond. It's just because these options are there, and by default, you just say, I've got to take student loan. I've got nothing against student loan, but I want you to remember that by the time you finish, that loan is waiting somewhere. It is not going to go. If you file bankruptcy, it's the only loan that bankruptcy will not get rid of. It is waiting there. So when you finish, you've got £50,000 waiting for you on a £40,000 wage. Already you're starting on the minus. So please, let's be prudent with that. To me, it's prudence in approach. There's no one size fits all. From Mr. Abuko, from what is said, he knows how to navigate the world of credit because he's built the muscle. Me, I'm not sure I'm that, at that level yet. So what do? I run. Bible says, flee from all appearances of the devil. So flee. Up until recently, I think I was having a conversation with Kochi, up until the American trip. That was when I think I applied for this thing. Do you remember the one we talked about? Because the temptation is there. And me, I don't have that much of less, willpower. So I don't want to be using it to, I'm not buying this. I love gadgets. I love toys. The new iPad comes out. I love things. So I put myself in an environment where I don't let such temptation come near me. And that is how I manage it. So it's all about management. Know thyself. It's called personal finance for a reason. That means one size does not fit all. Because your friend, you went to Starbucks, you see your friend bring out Capital One credit card or MBNA credit card, you think you can manage it. They might have been doing well with it. Some people, they use it so well. They use it through the months. Once they get their paycheck, they pay it off, boom. Some people, they know how to navigate the 0% APR ban for their personal finance. Now, business one is completely different. So we won't go to business tonight, but it's a good tool. I'm worried if they should open the floodgates of credit to Nigeria with the level of indiscipline. I'm sorry, I'm a Nigerian, that I see while it's coming.
In Nigeria, there are apps that will give you short loans. You default like this, all your generation, even your late father will receive text message.
So, Kochi, that is my take on it. It is fire. Before you play with it, make sure you know the rules that govern the control and management of it.
10-11 already. Oh my God. Guys.
Let me just very briefly.
Yes,
management of that credit is key. And I like the fact that that if you're not able to manage it, be away from it. But there are also so many things that are there to take advantage of when you manage them very well. For instance, earning points, cash backs, and things like that. There were years ago, I would travel to Nigeria 2-3 times a year for free, not paying anything because of accumulated points. I still do that now. Again, it's all about knowing how to manage it, knowing how to spend, knowing how to pay it back, but being able to manage it also, when you do it very well, gives you money back. And you are walking out of the store for free. You're getting discounts on. I will apply for credit cards I recently applied for a credit card just to get $100 off a plane ticket. And once the statement came, I paid it back, So, but again, that's about knowing how to navigate it, knowing the benefits and knowing the risks that are attached. So, but it takes a lot to get to that point. I messed it up before, but I was able to put myself back. And right now, I'm above that 700 score. So if I want to get anything right now, I'm sure of a lower interest rate, and I'm almost sure that I'm going to get any type of credit. And the only thing I've stayed away from, I've made sure I've not bought a Mercedes or a Volvo or whatever, any expensive car. I stay away from those because those will take a chunk of your monthly income on car payments. Just get from A to B, and people abuse that a lot, So yes, if that gets to Nigeria, people might abuse that. So we need to start lecturing our people right now before they flood Nigeria about how to actually manage money so that we don't start having people's houses go on sale.
Thank you. Abika, I hope we get to bring you back soon.
Sure.
Thank you for stumbling on the live video on Facebook, and I brought you here. So yes. Thank you, guys. Peyi Olua Balumi. you watched the video and asked questions throughout the webinar or the Movienar. What is one thing that stood out for you? What is one thing you want to leave with the audience? And, just in 1.5 minutes.
So for me, the critical life-saving thing that I took away from the webinar was the aspect of insurance. And what's that thing that crystallized for me? Like sometimes you're working and you don't even have insurance in your workplace. The lady who was talking about how she transited into the engineering space and became an electrician. The thing I liked about the union that she was in, the fact that she's in that union already covers her insurance, and she does not have to worry about health insurance for herself or her children. And I begin to wonder, a lot of our clubs that we are now having in Nigeria, what can we do to leverage a kind of insurance system that the moment you are a member of that club, and maybe there's a little top up that you pay, and which helps you to cover your health insurance needs. I think if we are this big community, there must be something that we can leverage in terms of insurance for members. And that could be a very good thing that you take out of your membership. Just that, peace of mind that if I were to go to the hospital or my child or wife or husband goes, I don't have to just go bankrupt immediately. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Feedback noted. Oluwapelumi, let's have your final thought. Unmute, please.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. For me, as a starter that I am, what really stood out for me was that point, save for your future. Okay, and then the lady that talked about that, she mentioned that she had 3 accounts, okay, a checking account, and then with that checking account, there's even a saving account. Then there's also, she has another savings account and then a fixed deposit. So while she was talking, she mentioned that actually helps her to be able to, it helps her to be organized, and it also helps her, it's easier for her to budget and save, because she has put such a system in place. Yeah, so for me, that was what stood out. Save for your future. And then start saving early, okay? And then saving early would help you to be able to leverage on compound interest. There was an analysis that was made. Say someone started saving maybe 1,000 naira from age 20, and then another person started maybe like from age 35 or so. The fact that I had started earlier, I'm able to leverage on compound interest. So whether I'm even doing a business of my own or I'm working a 9 to 5, the fact that I'm able to leverage on compound interest, that would help me to build wealth, financial wealth, and then even think of transgenerational wealth. So that was what really stood out for me, ma'am. Thank you.
So much. Guys, we have this recorded. We will put it on YouTube. Maybe by Monday at the latest, you can share. I think people need to listen to this conversation over and over again. They didn't talk about retirement as well, but there's no time to talk about, but retirement was also a major part of that conversation. And like retirement planning should start on the very first day you start to work, right? Not like you are 50, you are 60. I have an uncle in the US who clocked 70 last year, and he says he wants to work for 3 more years or so that when he retires, they will be paying him the last salary he's currently earning. And I'm like, for what? Snow, we carrying shovel, 75? Oh my God, it is well in Jesus' name. Emo, do you have any final word from that we haven't touched on from that conversation? Not at all. All right. Thank you, guys. Look at you all. You are still here, still standing. If we continue, I'm sure you guys will stay here and here. I can't thank you enough. You have been very fantastic. I want to thank our panelists, Feya Ajayi, from Abuja, Pelumi Olanihu from Jos, Emo from the UK, and our Pajawiri, like accidental but very incidental panelist from the US, IBK. IBK, we are going to bring you back. You've got so much sauce. I really, really appreciate you. And we'll get to do this sometime again soon. Guys, next month we will do another topic. I don't know yet, but we'll be back. And yes, I'm thanking myself too. Emo, as we do it now, pictures, music, and then people will not leave. Oh, there's party after. You watch out. Let's take the pictures. I will remove this.
Definitely.
And
So,
then I will
ladies
have
and
people
yeah,
can unmute themselves as well, but we can take the pictures. Thank
now,
you.
everybody, this is how we normally do it. Can you please switch on your cams? We want to see your faces. I'm going to be going, I think we've got about 3 screens now. So everybody, I want to see faces. Can you please put on your camera? We have 3 screens. Lucky your camera, Mommy, Ola. Come on, Chineme, pay me for me. Can I see your cameras? It's going to be just 1 minute. We capture that and we're going to the next stage. So ready? I'm waiting for page 1. For me, thank you very much. We don't worry, Chineme, you're looking good, ma'am. Okay, just bear with me 1 second, everyone. Your cameras. Thank you. I'm waiting 5 more seconds before I start. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ready? I'm taking the first one. Hold on. Bear with me. I'm going through 3 screens, so when I move, it moves. So 1 second more. Screen on. Going to screen 2. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been an amazing night. There we go.
Thank you. Party after party.
People are not going to Kochi.
Bye, goodbye. Yeah.
See you at the top. We are Bugain this year. The devil is a liar.
So,
don't use your money to book out. Correct.
thank you very much, everyone. It's been an amazing night.
Thank you, coaches. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone. God bless.
Sugar dance, sweet but your love is sweeter. So below juice mix with a little ginger. Oh girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I can't see the way I can let go. But you never know, so I'm gossip. I'm just so far to find your love. But you never know, so you go.